face first on the floor now. And it's for time. I was just sitting there, I was thinking like, what's going on? Just sitting there. And I look to my right, and I see a guy like sitting down on a bench like much further up ahead. And he's looked at me, and he was probably thinking, what just happened? Everyone probably thought the same thing. What's going on? Everything that's happened so quick. And during these times, there was a pandemic going on around the world. So this was kind of big. And I remember I was just sitting on the floor still. And I remember I looked up just to see like what's going on, because they're both still sitting on top of me. And then I just, all I do is to see this guy like pull out like a lanyard. He had like a lanyard from his shirt. He pulled out like a lanyard. And straight away I was like, I think I know who this is. I think I know who this is. And straight away when I got that thought in my head, he just started pulling my arms behind my back. I'm like, you're gonna break my arm. And he's put the cuffs on so tight. He's put cuffs on my hand and he's put them on so tight. I remember that day he put the cuffs on so tight that there was bruises all over my wrist. Like my wrists were like blue from like the bruises that he gave me that day. And after like three minutes, he picked me up off the floor now. And he did it slowly. And all I do is look up and I see is 15 feds, push bikes, and they brought the blue van. At the time I was surprised. I was surprised that they brought so much. And this day was boiling and it was sunny. So my hair was kind of fucked and they can see me clearly, so they're probably thinking, fucking hell, like, you know, like that, bro, like. And I was standing there, I was like standing next to the building in the middle of the high street at the doorway. And the Chinese guy, he's searching me, he's like right on me and he's searching me. He's going through my bag, he's going through my pouch and he's dropping everything on the floor. And at the time, I had like an Armani pouch on, And I'm thinking, he was searching me and he didn't find anything, so he's just looking at me. And I remember telling him like, because I dropped my AirPods on the floor. I was like, can you pick up my AirPods? Can you pick up my AirPod, please? And he's like, he just looked at me and he picked it up and he threw it. And I was like, I didn't even give him a reaction because I knew that's what you wanted. Don't give him a reaction. And I was just looking around and I saw the bald guy and I saw him like rubbing his jaw from like where I banged him. And he was talking to like a female fed as well. He spoke to her and she was like, oh, what did he do? And he's like, he did a drug deal further down in the high street. And he came over to come talk to me. He's like, what was you doing down in the high street? I was like, I was just going about my day just exercising. And they're all just looking at me because I know I didn't do anything. So they're all just looking at me now. And they're like, and he asked me like, what's your name? And they didn't know me. None of them knew me at the time. And I didn't give them a name because I knew I didn't do nothing wrong. And then the guy's like, he just went back over to his colleagues, started talking to them. And I saw this guy on a push bike. There was a guy on a push bike. I went to go speak to him. And I asked him, I was like, can you pick up my AirPod? He just started shaking his head. He's like, and at the time he had like a hat on, like a blue hat, He had like some different uniform I never seen in my whole life. I never seen police wear this uniform. It's like some go-kart looking uniform. And they all had on sunglasses as well. They all had on sunglasses, hats. It was crazy. And I remember he pulled out the camera off his shirt, and he just started scanning me like up and down, bro. And I was just looking at him, just looking at the camera. And then the bold guy was like, "You're coming back for a strip search." And I was like, strip search? I was like, wow. And at the time I was only 18. I was nearly turning 19 as well. So I was still kind of young when this was happening. So they're escorting me to the van now. It's me and the Chinese guy. Me, the Chinese guy and the bold guy. We're walking towards the van now. And when I was stepping into the van, I'm stepping up the steps and I'm walking into the van. And when I walked in, there was stuff already like in the way. There was like push bikes there. I mean, there's so much space. That's what I realized. In these vans, in the vans, they have so much space in these vans. I was like, there's so much space in here. And they just put me on the front seat. And I was just sitting there. I weren't saying too much. And we're just going now, literally. We're in the van, it's me, him, and the other guy. And these two are both talking to each other. And I remember, like, I can hear these, like, they're both saying, like, the Chinese guy was saying, "Oh, yeah," he's like, I dropped my badge on the floor, you know? And someone gave it back to me. And that's when I thought in my head, oh, yeah, this guy's clumsy. And the guy was talking about how he has, like, bad hay fever and stuff like this. I was just listening to them talk. And the bold guy was looking at me, and he's like, "Oh, you seem a little bit nervous." And I was just looking out the window. I was like, "No, I'm fine. And the police station's not too far around the corner. It's like 2-3 minutes drive around the corner. So we weren't in there for too long. And I remember we got to the station now. And they took me off the van. They like escorted me off the van. I didn't even want them to help me off. They just did it anyway. And then we're walking in through the front door into the station now. And I remember I saw there was like one guy in there. And he was probably just snitching, bro. You know, like that. And we're walking to the back room now. And when I looked down, bro, I was like, this guy has shorts on. He has like these shorts on with like all these pockets, and that's when I realized this guy has tactical shorts on, bro. And I was like, yeah, this guy is serious. So we walked into the back room now, and he slammed the door shut. He slammed it shut, and straight away in my head I thought, yeah, these guys are gonna beat me up in here. And at the time I was kind of surprised because these guys are like 50 years old, bro. They're like 50 years old. These guys could be like my dad. That's how old these guys are. And that's why I was in kind of like shock. And I remember what he was telling me. He's like, "I'm going to put the camera on the table so I can just hear the conversation of us. It won't be recording you." And he sat me down in a chair in this little box room. Not too big. And he said, the first thing he said is, "Right, we're going to start off with taking off your shoes." So I took off my shoes now. And I'm watching these lot, they search my shoes. They're going through the soles of my shoes, taking it out and seeing what's inside and everything. And I'm like, wow, these guys are doing a lot. And then they told me to take off my t-shirt, searching everything underneath. And they told me to take off my trousers, and then take off my underwear. And I had to take off everything. And then eventually I was just fully stripped, you know what I mean? They searched me, I had nothing on me. They told me to turn around. And yeah. And then they told me just put all my stuff back on. And then I remember we were just talking now, and he's like, and he was searching my pouch, and I had my provisional license on me. I didn't realize I had my provision on me, and that's how he found out my government name. I didn't even want to tell him, but then he found out just by looking at my provisional. I was like, wow, he found out now. It's nothing to really hide, you know what I mean? And I remember my phone died because he was pressing like the button of my phone, seeing if it would turn on, because you know feds already, they just want to like search for your stuff. So I was happy that my phone died, to be honest. And he's talking about, oh, do you have any criminal records, stuff like this? And luckily I just have a squeaky clean record and I have nothing on my name, so that was one benefit for me. And he's just going on about like, what are you doing with yourself, like? And I just told him like, I'm at college doing a plumbing course, and he's like, oh, do you want to get kicked off your plumbing course? But like, he's like, no. And he's like, stop selling drugs. He's like, you need to stop selling drugs. And this guy kept repeating, he kept saying it. He's like, stop selling drugs. Stop selling drugs. And then the Chinese guy asked me, he's like, oh, what series Apple Watch do you have? And I just told him I have this series, and I asked him back, I was like, oh, what series do you have? And he's like, oh, I have this series. And I was like, I thought in my head straight away, yeah, I have a better Apple Watch than you. But yeah, I was just sitting there, bro. And these guys were being cool about it. I can't lie. These guys were being cool about it. They weren't like angry or anything. I thought they would be, but they weren't as angry as I thought they would. They were kind of chill, to be honest. But I remember they were escorting me out the station now. After like a long convo, bro, we're just talking. Escorting me out. And we got outside now, and the van's still outside, like it's parked right outside the station. So when I'm walking out, I was thinking like, where's my bike? And it's in the impound. So I had to wait with one of the guys to get my bike out. So we're just standing there awkwardly. It's kind of, you know, them awkward situations, but we're just standing there, not saying nothing. And he got my bike out now. And I'm pedaling like towards the high street, and I look back. And then the bald guy looked at me, and he's like, the bald guy and the Chinese guy were just standing next to each other. And I remember what he was telling me. He's like, you're banned. He's like, you're banned from the high street. Stay home, save lives, protect the NHS. I remember them exact words. And then I was just pedaling back into the high street, and then I stopped for a second to think about the situation. And I thought, everything that's happened so fast. I couldn't even get my head straight at the time. I was kind of shaking, bro. Because, like, I remember I was shaking because of what happened. Like, everything that's happened so quick. And when I was pedaling, then I got on a bike and I started just pedaling, like, to see what was going on. Like going back to the situation, like, where I was. I'm pedaling through the high street now. And I see the same woman that said, oh, he's only a kid. I see her in the high street. And she said, oh, you're right. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And I just rid straight past her now. And I'm all the way at the top of the high street. And all I do is to see is everyone on a pushbike, on foot, getting stopped by the police. They're just getting stopped by them. And I was like, wow, this is serious. And I remember, I just went straight home that day. I went straight home. And I remember I put the bike in my garden and I walked into my house and I told my mum, like, I just got strip searched. And she was kind of surprised. He's like, what? Like, she probably think I was joking, but yeah. And then she said what she had to say, And then I had like all these bruises like on my face. I had like a bruise on my nose. I had like bruises like on my face, on my wrist, on my back. I had a bruise on my leg as well. From when the guy kneed me, I felt that for like a couple of days. I remember I felt that knee for like a couple of days. And I remember that situation stuck in my head for a little while. I can't lie. Like I had nights where I couldn't even stop thinking about what just happened. Like it was, I don't know how to explain it. Like the whatever. Like as I said, maybe I don't know. But I hope you like that little story. Just a little cool story that I got for you lot. Hope you enjoyed. It's like a movie, you know what I mean? Like a movie. I'm trying to explain like a movie, but hope you enjoyed. Yeah, maybe one day I can get the CCTV footage of what happened in that high street and really show you lot. But yeah, just a crazy story, I guess. Take it easy, stay tuned, and I'm gonna come with more bangers this year. I'm out, man.